down for the Rockets over the Golden State Warriors. Now the series heads back to the Bay Area. Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, they never really got it going in Game 5. They combined for just 6 of 22 shots. It's their worst combined field goal percentage in a game since becoming teammates. And that performance, it led the Warriors to trailing by as many as 31 on the night. As for the Rockets, they're firing on all cylinders, but bad space jokes aside, Houston starters, they combined for 101 points. That is the most by any Rockets starting 5 in a playoff game since Game 4 of the 2020 first round against the Thunder. And a huge reason for the Rockets' production in Game 5, it was Alperen Şengün. He missed out on a triple-double and through 5 games has become the 5th player to average 20 points, 10 boards, 5 dimes to start his playoff career. But it was another Rocket that our resident Houston area detective was investigating last night.
I'm Kendrick Perkins, better known as Big Perk, and nothing gets past me. Freeze! Just when you thought it did get past me, there I am. I spy a problem. I spy it all. Carry the hell on. You damn right. I'm watching everything. It's the postseason. I ain't sleeping. I ain't drinking. I ain't eating. Damn it, I'm spying it all. And I spy a problem for the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry. His name is Ahmed Thompson, okay? His defense on Steph Curry last night on his heels like a pair of church socks. I want you to watch him right here. You look at it, he's guarding Gary Payton II, but his eyes are on Steph Curry. Look at him come in and get the block. Look at him get out in transition. Okay, here we are again. Steph Curry we're talking about. A generational talent with the handles. I'm going to pick you up at the half court. Cookies. Let me get that. And I'm out on the break. I'm slam dunking that. This is a problem. Steve Kerr has to take Steph Curry off the ball and make him move in the floppy action. Otherwise, Thompson is going to give Steph Curry hell. And they got to figure it out before Game 6.
Hey, how about the Thompson twins? Now, look. I say one of the best ways you can identify yourself as having star quality is how do you perform in closeout games and elimination games. Basically, you got a chance to put somebody down or keep your season alive. Look at the Thompson twins the last 2 nights. 2 nights ago, Ausar Thompson on the road in the Garden. 22 points on 8 of 10 shooting. You know these guys are going to play at the defensive end. Ausar is, a little bit behind on men offensively, but what an explosion when the Pistons absolutely needed it. And how about 8 stocks from Amen last night, 5 steals, 3 blocks. My God, what a performance. And then when he can give you this kind of offensive input, he is a superstar level player. He is a superstar defensively already. And when he gets going offensively like he did in this game, holy Moses. A very, very impressive showing by the twins in these their first experience facing closeouts. What a response.
I mean, Amen and Ausar Thompson, they brought it on both ends. You're right, fellas. But did you catch this? Before the game, this photo of Steph went viral. You can check out the swelling on that right thumb. Steph has been dealing with that thumb injury since January. Here's what he had to say about it after the game.
State of your thumb right now?
Cold.
There was a picture, I don't know if you've seen it online, where it looks pretty swollen. I think it was with you walking to the plane.
You got the feds on me? What are you talking about? I don't even know how to answer it. It's just something you're dealing with and you keep it moving. As long as I can play. You got to rap for a reason, but that's it.
Do you feel it's impacting your game at all?
No. No. Not at all.
If you're gonna come play the game injured or whenever you got, it's all about the game. If I had an injured ankle, I would attack that ankle every single time. So whatever they're saying on the broadcast, they can keep saying it.
I mean, I hear what Steph is saying and what Dillon Brooks is saying about attacking it, but when you see a thumb that's that swollen, it's hard to imagine that doesn't affect your shot. But you've made over 1,500 NBA
I've made a
threes.
couple.
So can you just show, does it affect
I'm not the greatest
shot?
shooter in the world. No, I don't think it should affect the shot. He's been playing with this for a while now. They said since the end of January at this point. It'll affect his dribbling and his catching. And so when you are shooting, you do need to get good catches. But ultimately, when it comes to shooting, the 2 important fingers that you need are your index finger and your middle finger, really. So when he releases it, it's coming off like that, and most shooters just use those 2 fingers. So he should be okay. But when it comes to other things, playing defense, getting deflections, and them trying to attack that thumb, what Dylan Brooks said.
Okay.
And when he shoots, and it can affect when he releases it, they don't call fouls anymore. They call it the high five. So if they keep high fiving that thumb, it's going to wear him down some and maybe give him some fatigue. As you see in his answer, he kind of gave a hesitation because he didn't want to let them know it does affect him a little bit.
Right.
But he's mentally tough. He should play through it. He'll be fine. He's the greatest shooter in the world that we've seen.
It's not necessarily his shot, right? It's kind of those other things that we're going to have to keep an eye on.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, we don't even. Man, listen, it's a business too, so you don't know what the roster will look like next year. Besides the guys that's locked into contracts, so we don't. I mean, I got a lot to think about myself, so I don't know what the roster will look like. I don't know what I'm, where I stand right now.
So this offseason, it may be started a little earlier than many expected for the Lakers. Dave McMenamin joining us now from the Lakers practice facility in El Segundo, where J.J. Redick, Rob Pelinka, they just held exit interviews. What was the prevailing theme, Dave, from the two of them?
Yeah, Malika, no one in the building thought they would be here today this soon and facing an offseason full of questions. J.J. Redick said it kind of hurts to admit that the Wolves were the better team, and Rob Pelinka basically spoke about why they were the better team, admitting that his roster was not constructed properly, having the help that they needed in the middle. And so that's his number one priority, he said, is to get a center or centers for them to play with next year. But there's a lot of work for this entire organization to do this summer.
We have a ways to go as a roster, and certainly there are individuals that were in phenomenal shape. There's certainly other ones that could have been in better shape. That's where my mind goes immediately is we have to get in championship shape.
I think LeBron's going to have high expectations for the roster, and we're going to do everything we can to meet those.
So obviously part of LeBron's expectations will be, as I mentioned, Rob Pelinka finding some help at the center position for this team. Pelinka said he thinks it's going to be a offseason that's rife with a ton of player movement around the league. But one name that Lakers fans should not anticipate moving from LA is Austin Reeves. Austin told us last night that he didn't play up to his standard in the first round against the Wolves, but Rob Pelinka said he has total faith in Austin, Luka, and LeBron as the pillars of this organization moving forward. So don't be looking for the Lakers to upgrade necessarily at a star position by using Austin Reeves. It's about more finding the right role players around those three.
Yeah, maybe some moves around the margin here for the Los Angeles Lakers. Dave McMenamin, thank you so very much for your reporting throughout this series. So we can expect some changes this offseason for Los Angeles, but as for where the front office should start, let's start with our expert, Bobby Marks. Bobby, we've heard again and again here, the Los Angeles Lakers, they need a center. That's how Luka Doncic thrives. We know that, but I'm struggling to see what assets they have to go out and get that guy, and who is that guy? What should the priority be?
Well, Malika, this is the roster that started last night in the game 5. I keep on going back to Rob Pelinka, what he said in February, that this roster was a work in progress. And when you look at the offseason, this is their to-do list, and this is what they have available. You've got to figure out what's going to happen with LeBron James. That's the first thing. He's got a $53 million player option. He has until June 29th to opt in or opt out of the contract. That basically kind of sets the table for this offseason. Then you've got your two extensions. It's Luka on August 2nd, 4 for $229. As Dave mentioned, Austin Reeves also extension eligible, 4 for $90. Now here are your two big things. You've got to find yourself a starting center. If it wasn't well known, it was well known last night that they need a starting center. They have draft assets. They have got a 2031 first round pick. They've got swap rights in 5 years. They've got what I call these sweet spot contracts. There's 10 players between $2 and $20 million. Rui Hachimura, Dorian Finney-Smith, Gabe Vincent. And then the other thing is, how do you build playoff depth? Not regular season depth, but playoff depth.
And that is going to be their task. All of this because Anthony Edwards, we might as well start calling him Kingslayer. And he is today's electric moment, brought to you by Hyundai. So let's take it back to the first round last year. And he led the Wolves to a sweep over the Suns and his personal idol, Kevin Durant. He capped it off with 40 points in the closing game. And then next up, Ant, he ended Denver's shot at a repeat. He sent the reigning MVP packing. The Wolves completed a 20-point comeback in Game 7 to knock out the Denver Nuggets. And that all brings us back to last night. He took down the king, LeBron James, in 5 games. And two birds, one stone, a little revenge over Luka Doncic, who eliminated the Wolves in 2024 as a member of the Mavericks. Right after the game, he let everyone know who won in 5.
Wolves in 5. Wolves in 5. Wolves in 5, John. Oh, big room, MVP, baby. We were waiting on the man. He picked the best game to do it. Man, let's go get another 4.
It's a new era for the Timberwolves. They've won playoff series in back-to-back years for the first time in franchise history. Over the last 2 years, Minnesota has won 3 playoff series after winning just 2 across their first 34 seasons in the NBA. And Edwards took his message to the Los Angeles streets. He let everybody outside of Crypto.com Arena know it, too.
Chào cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng với tiêu đề là cái gối. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu làm nhé. Đấy, khó qua cơ tự nhiên thành thế. Mình xã Đa Phúc mà. Mình xã Đa Phúc. Có xã Kim Anh, xã Sóc Sơn. Khổ nhất cái Đông Xuân chia đôi. Vâng. Một nửa Đông Xuân đi mình, một nửa Đông Xuân đi xã Sóc Sơn. Nhưng mà đang nghe cái kia quen tai giờ nghe lại này nghe chả bon gì.
Xin chào mừng tất cả các bạn đã quay trở lại kênh YouTube của mình. Bây giờ mình sẽ vẽ cho các bạn xem cái cầu vồng này nha.
Mọi người đây là màu trắng.
Sẽ bắt đầu vẽ luôn.
Tiếp là màu xanh nhé. Xã Đà Phúc. Xã Sóc Sơn. Không là không có huyện nữa. Giờ làng xã cho đến thành phố luôn rồi thì anh nhỉ. Mày đuổi đánh một cái em kia ơi.